এয়া আকাশবাণী গুৱাহাটীৰ FM মহাবাহু সংবাদ চলন্তিকা।
নমস্কাৰ শ্ৰোতাসকল, সংবাদ চলন্তিকালৈ স্বাগতম জনাইছো। আজিৰ সংবাদ চলন্তিকাত শুনক ইউনিচেফ অসমৰ ক্ষেত্ৰীয় কাৰ্যালয়ৰ মুৰব্বী ডক্টৰ মধুলিকা জনাথনৰ সৈতে হোৱা এটা সাক্ষাৎকাৰ। তেখেতৰ সৈতে কথা পাতিছে মানস প্ৰতিম শৰ্মাই।
Dr. Madhulika Jonathan, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's discuss. Would you please tell us what is the impact of COVID-19 on children in specifically Northeast region?
It's about a year since the COVID pandemic started, and the impact of the virus on especially children and young people is alarming now. Children face a lot of threats. One is from the direct consequences of the disease itself. Secondly, from the interruption of essential services which must reach them. And thirdly, from increasing poverty and equality that is being aggravated because of the COVID situation. And we know evidence tells us that this age group is not so much affected by COVID, but as we are seeing more and more global data appears, it suggests that children and young people's health may be directly impacted by COVID and than we initially thought it would be. And also the main thing is that disruption to essential services such as education, healthcare, nutrition, child protection, interventions are harming children. And the severe global economic recession is also basically impoverishing children and compounding deep inequities which already are basically further worsened. In this context, we are more worried that children have missed school, they've missed due vaccines, they have also missed certain dedicated services which are meant for children. And we have been working very closely with the concerned departments both in Assam and the other Northeast states to ensure that rights of children are protected during this difficult time. And it cannot be done by one person alone, one stakeholder alone, and requires then the collective effort of parents, the NGOs on the ground, definitely the government and society at large.
Right. And if you please let us know what has been your response on COVID situation in Northeast?
UNICEF's core priority has been that essential services and the work for ensuring children's well-being continues. And the progress that has been made on a number of social development indicators, the gains that we made, those gains are not lost. And we have been working with now the departments of Assam, in various departments, the government of Assam in different departments, and also along with other development partners, WHO, UNDP, to ensure essential services for pregnant women, for children, for adolescents, boys and girls, and people with special needs. And we basically want to ensure that whatever services were going to them continue. However, lockdowns, government restrictions have supplemented with the on-ground realities. Prior to the outbreak, we can see from NFHS 5 data that some of these situations where we had actually improved, now again in NFHS 5 data, we had seen that some of these gains have been lost and some of the advantages that we had got for children, we have lost that. In Assam, for example, in the COVID response, specifically with the health department, we have worked closely to assess, to plan, to implement and to monitor and evaluate the state COVID response strategy and support the state team in surge planning. We've also worked on, training and capacity building of frontline workers on infection prevention and control, and most important, awareness generation against stigma and discrimination. Coordinated assessment of COVID-19 treatment centers was done, and a roadmap was, worked on with the Department of Health in Assam for how we could improve the planning and the implementation on the ground. In the Northeast states, I think what we have done largely is the identification of proper sites for setting up quarantine centers in each of the 7 states, COVID testing sites in each state. Arunachal and Sikkim were the last states to set up testing facilities with support from UNICEF. And initially, the samples were being sent from these states to Dibrugarh in Assam and from Sikkim to West Bengal, Jalpaiguri in West Bengal. And now, in coordination with WHO and UNICEF, facility preparedness, so the hospital preparedness, that is being undertaken for about 87 districts of the Northeast. More than that, I think the focus has largely been to ensure that health services the reproductive health assistance service are continued at every facility so that there is no break in services for children who are well, for young people who are well, for pregnant mothers who need care. Capacity building, a lot of effort has gone into training frontline workers and social mobilizers. In the area of communication, one big piece that has happened with Press Information Bureau, Northeast, Doordarshan, and even with All India Radio is the piece on risk communication and community engagement, where many capacity building workshops were held. And to support the work, various departments, NHM, and also the Disaster Management Authority, including Assam Police, and basically we helped to create more reach for many of the messages that NHM, ASDMA, on social media. So to increase the reach of these messages so it could reach more people in the vulnerable areas, and also created more content for them, digital content on platforms like WhatsApp, and so that they were able to share it with many people. In Assam, we had a double disaster. So we had the floods along with COVID. And that became a big challenge for us because it was a double disaster. And UNICEF at that point supported ASDMA largely with finalization of the digital flood reporting and information management system, and also instituting child-friendly spaces in the relief camps. We also try to do a rapid assessment to inform the government on what are the further gaps and what could be done. There has been continuity of learning during the pandemic, which we know that many children were not able to attend learning on digital platforms. Also, a large number of out-of-school children increased. And with that, we know that the increase in incidence of child marriage and labor also increase in the crimes against children. And during the lockdown, I think one big focus that we tried to bring was to the early childhood education and foundational learning. And they have become an important mandate for the Department of Education, especially with the new education policy.
Right.
In the area of nutrition, NSHS 5 has shown that malnutrition rates have, I would say, worsened. So it has increased, and the situation is worse than it was previously. One important intervention has been focused on the central government scheme, which is the Pradhan Mantri Matri Vandana Yojana. And we have looked there to see how women can access the scheme in 30 districts of Assam, and also to build their capacities so that women can access cash transfers for better nutrition. I think only one more thing that I'd just like to add is the area of child protection, where we have looked at the Assam Police Shishu Mitra program, which is a child-friendly policing program. And one big win for Assam is that children who were in conflict with law, almost, I think, 97 children were released on bail, which is a first of its kind in the whole of the... So I think that what efforts we have made are completely in coordination with the government, and it is just to ensure that children continue to learn, continue to be safe, and that they are able to reach services that were meant for them by the government.
Right. And precisely, you mentioned a couple of things. Now, if I need to know, what are the areas do you think we need to give more focus specifically on child-related issues?
Globally, there is 6 areas of focus for UNICEF, 6-point agenda as we globally call it. The first one is that to ensure all children learn, including by closing the digital divide. And that is that at the peak of the nationwide school closures, almost 90% of children worldwide were not able to access learning. And the children who were most vulnerable, that like for Assam, the children in the tea garden, those who did not have access to smartphones, these were children who were not able to access remote learning during the school shutdowns, and more so girl children. So I think the first priority then is to ensure all children learn and to reduce this digital divide there. The second one is access to health and nutrition services and making vaccines affordable and available to every child. And when we look at children, I think the greatest danger to them definitely is of hunger and disease. And now that we see that there has been a loss of livelihoods, there is also the food security component is under strain. We feel that the whole situation of COVID has made the situation of children more inequitable. And so it is important to ensure that children are, one, food is available to them, and also vaccinating them against not only COVID-19, but also the other routine immunization vaccines. The third one is protecting mental health of children and young people and bringing an end to abuse, gender-based violence and neglect in childhood. And for that, we have also worked very closely with the Department of Social Welfare to see how we can ensure that children continue to live with their families, even if the family is not able to support them, through alternative care support, like sponsorship schemes, foster care systems. So this is an important scheme to see how children can continue to live in a family setting, even if there is scarce resources to look after them. The fourth one is definitely access to clean water, sanitation and hygiene, and address environmental degradation and climate change. And we know that in Assam, the Jal Jeevan mission is an important mission for the state, Har Ghar Mein Nal. And we want to connect this again to children's wellness and to women's health, because we know that women spend a lot of time collecting water. We also realize that safe drinking water will reduce diarrhea and reduce mortality, which is presently the highest in Assam. Right. And the last one is also, reverse because when parents have lost their jobs, the child poverty index has sort of worsened, and more so for the children who are more vulnerable, migrant children. We know that there are many child-headed households. They are not within their parental care, and one sibling cares for the other sibling. And we know that with the COVID-19 and with increased poverty and deprivation, this crisis will continue to have a long-term impact. So definitely the points. And then finally, to protect and support children and their families living through conflict and disaster and displacement. Disaster is very real for Northeast. So we are in a seismic zone 5, which has earthquakes, floods, landslips. And so making communities more resilient, making them more aware, more investing on, building back better and infrastructure which is resilient. I think those are, again, very important things to focus on.
Right. Plenty of works to be done in Northeast by all stakeholders, right? And finally, now, since COVID vaccination has been rolled out, so what role UNICEF is being played here?
In the Northeast, being the chief partner who is providing support to the government along with WHO and UNDP, UNICEF focuses largely on facility preparedness for handling adequate quantities of vaccine. We also work closely with the government on managing the temperature, so the cold chain management to ensure that the vaccine is stored and supplied properly, and also to minimize wastage because of vaccine being stored at the wrong temperatures. Minimizing wastage through proper reach, so working with WHO closely on micro-planning, ensuring that the sessions which are planned and the people who are supposed to come in for the vaccinations arrive, ensuring supply chain, the last mile delivery of vaccines, and finally creating awareness about the vaccine, sensitizing beneficiaries as well as service providers on vaccine effectiveness, telling them about any possible adverse events following vaccination, and creating a demand, because I think when the vaccine is available, if there is a hesitancy towards the vaccine, then a lot of effort from the health department is lost. So definitely then creating a demand with positive messaging, supporting the teams on the ground to ensure that the people who are supposed to come for the vaccine on a specified date are actually being there. And finally, we also support the government by, visiting these sessions, providing what we call supportive supervision, handholding the work, so that whatever support they need, we are able to provide them. The government is really the main, the chief implementer of the program, and we are technical partners. And so we're really happy to support and provide whatever inputs are required.
Right. Dr. Jonathan, you gave us your valuable time. You give your insight in UNICEF activities in Northeast. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
সংবাদ চলন্তিকা শুনিলে। আজিৰ সংবাদ চলন্তিকাৰ প্ৰযোজনা কৰিলে মানস প্ৰদীপ শৰ্মাই। সহযোগিতা আগবঢ়ালে ভাস্বতী চক্ৰৱৰ্তী আৰু অপূৰ্ব মালিয়ে। পৰৱৰ্তী সংবাদ চলন্তিকা শুনিবলৈ পাব অহা দেওবাৰে ঠিক একে সময়তে। নমস্কাৰ।